wanna la la la. I wanna la. I wanna la la la. I wanna la.
Welcome back to another episode of JSE Sense. Right now, you already know this is where we make sense. Make sense. So you can make sense. And just as always, folks, our episodes are not intended and must not be taken as financial advice. JSE Sens'd is strictly for informational and commentary purposes only. It's not even comprehensive enough to be taken as educational material. We do, however, have educational material. Just reach us out on the WhatsApp number in the description box below for access. Financial advisors are trained professionals. They consider a lot more about your personal financial situations before giving you recommendations. So avoid taking advice from unregulated content creators. Do the right thing and reach out to an authorized, licensed financial advisor for personal recommendations. And we encourage you to verify the information you find in this episode before making any investing decisions. The first company we are going to talk about in this episode is Finbond, not Fintrade. Almost Fintrade, but Godspeed. Finbond. Finbond is a mutual bank. A mutual bank is like a stock firm that went to private school. So people come together to save some money and they can invest this money and whatever. You know what stock firms do. So a mutual bank is something like that. It's when people come together to save their money and form something like a bank within themselves. But Finbond is also open to the public. I'm sure you know Finbond, but in case you didn't know, it's like a mutual bank. They also have credit products, they have investment products, they have savings products. Investing and saving are not one and the same, by the way. So Finbond is also listed on the JSE with a ticker symbol FGL. And they have released an announcement to say one of their guys has bought more shares into the company. The name of the guy is a director, by the way, Mr. Sean Riskovitz. It sounds like a Russian surname, but I'm not sure, but it's not South African. Finbond also operates outside of South Africa, by the way, and you're gonna find out. So this guy bought more shares in his names and his company's names, or a company associated with him, right? So the first number of shares he bought in his names were 31,552 shares. He bought them for 80 cents each. On the 10th of June this year, just a couple of days ago. He spent about 25,241 rands and 60 cents. So since he bought them in his own names, it's a direct beneficial transaction, right? And the second batch of shares that he bought, he actually bought them for the company that he's associated with. Maybe it's his, maybe it's just by association. They didn't mention here. The name of the company is Protea Asset Management LLC. So when a company is an LLC, you know it comes from America, right? Most companies that come from UK, England, they have a PLC at the end. Most companies coming from South Africa, we already know it's a PTY or LTD. Most of them that are listed, it's LTD, limited. LLC is American. And that also is a way you can see that Finbond has some affiliations outside of South Africa. So the number of shares he bought under the company were about 6,250. He also bought them for 80 cents per share and he spent 5,000 rands. So since this particular transaction was not in his name, it's an indirect beneficial, right? So Finbond is currently trading at 86 cents per share, meaning he's already in profits, this guy, because as of today, I'm recording this video on the 19th of June. 9 days later, it's 86 cents per share. So he's in profit because he bought at 80 cents per share. It has an all-time high of about 6 rands and 10 cents. And it's currently trading at 86 cents per share. That means Finbond has experienced a drop of 95% from its all-time high of 6 rand 10 cents. Because yeah, like I said, it's trading at 86 cents per share. Let me know what you think about Finbond in the comment section. And the second company we are going to talk about is BRAIT PLC. BRAIT PLC. And by now you already know where PLCs come from, right? So BRAIT is an investment holdings company. They invest into other companies through BRAIT, right? It's listed on the JSE with a ticker symbol BAT. They released their audited financial results for the year ended 31 March, right? And they have these two very popular South African companies in their portfolio. The first one is Virgin Active, a chain of gyms. I'm sure you're pretty familiar with that. Virgin Active makes up 62% of BRAIT's total assets. So if you were wondering how you can invest into Virgin Active, it's not listed separately on the JSE. You can invest into it through BRAIT, right? Unless if you can be able to invest into it through the other people that own it, but BRAIT also gives you exposure to Virgin Active, right? The second most popular company that BRAIT owns is Premier. We actually spoke about Premier in the second, if not the first episode, which released stellar results. They're also noting here that Premier contributed very well to their portfolio for the year 2024-2025, right? So I'm not going to go into detail about the performance because I want to avoid giving an impression that I'm vouching for these companies when I'm making my content. If I go a lot into how they are performing, the tone sounds like I'm implying that it's a good company and stuff like that. So I want to keep it clean and professional. So BRAIT is currently trading at 2 rands and 19 cents per share. And in December 2015, I'm making this mistake again. I made it the first time and I deleted the video and now I'm redoing it and I'm still saying 2025. In December 2015, BRAIT was trading at 125 rands per share. So it also experienced a significant drop. It's currently trading 98% from its all-time high of 125. So yeah, BRAIT investors, hey, I'm sorry if you bought at the top, because this is a major drop. That rhymes. Let me know what you think about BRAIT in the comment section. The third company is Thungela Resources Limited, or LTD. For those that may not know, Thungela is a coal miner, right? And the LTD lets you know where it's from, right? It's a coal miner. They are diversifying into other resources now, but they are primarily into coal. So Thungela is listed on the JSE and also on the London Stock Exchange. On the JSE, it's trading with a ticker symbol TGA. And on the 17th of June, they released an announcement that one of their guys has sold their shares, the shares that they were holding, into Thungela. They didn't say why, but they told you. One of their guys has sold the shares. The person who sold the shares is a prescribed officer for Thungela, and they go by the name of Nompumelelo Sithole. I think this is the first black person we are talking about who made a share transaction. Oh, well, besides Patrice Motsepe, Patrice didn't really sell. It's for the future. It's going to be exercised in 2030. So this one sold now, Baba. She sold her shares on the 13th of June and they made the announcement on the 17th of June. So she sold her shares on the market and she sold about 25,000 shares. She made 2 transactions. So the highest price she sold at was 88 rands and the lowest price she sold at was 87 rands. And the total value of her transactions amounted to 2,180,000. So she sold her shares in her names. It's a direct beneficial. Ooh, SARS is going to be so happy for this sale. Well, it depends on whether she made profits or not. Because if she bought these shares at the top, then she made a loss and she won't pay capital gains tax. But if she bought these shares at the bottom and she's now selling in profits, then SARS is looking at her like they're going to want a piece of that, right? So Thungela is currently trading around 86 rands and 42 cents per share, with an all-time high of 382 rands since September 2022. So it's currently trading down 77% from the all-time high. I don't know if that's the reason that Nompumelelo is selling or what, but she could be late to sell. She could be late to sell now. It's down 77%, but depending on where she bought, right? So maybe she's running away because she bought at the top and this thing keeps going down, or maybe she's running away because she bought at the bottom and it's now going to the bottom. It's going to where she bought. You never know. They don't tell you the reasons why these people sell here. But she made a lot of money, man. 2.1 million. That's a lot. After she sells whatever SARS is going to have, she can go into property and still be fine. What do you think about Nompumelelo? Do you think she made the right decision or not? Number 4 is Renergen Limited. I spoke about Renergen a lot on my TikTok, right? At some point I used to own it as well, but I sold it. I made my profit and then I dashed, Baba. Hey, it was becoming stressful. So Renergen is listed on the JSE and the A2X. The A2X is also a South African stock exchange. I think it's in Cape Town. It's busy trying to take away JSE's lunch, but JSE remains the most popular and the biggest, right? For now. Maybe it's going to overtake it, but for now, JSE is still the guy. So Renergen is listed on the JSE with a ticker symbol REN. And they released a quarterly update. You know, these young mining companies, they always release quarterly updates on whatever, how the blasting is going, how their exploration is going and stuff like that. Maybe they do so as a requirement of the JSE, or maybe they do so to try and keep shareholders in the loop of the developments, right? So the quarterly update has a title, Fiscal Quarter 1 2026 Highlights. So it's not a mistake. Remember, financial years overlap. So they will tell you about 2024, 2025, 2025, 2026. So if you don't know, 2026 is not a mistake. It's just that from now up to August, June, July, August, that's Q1 2026. August, September, October, November, that could be Q2, depending on how they calculate it. But they're talking about 2026 because as a financial year, it has already begun, just to clarify it a little bit. So one of the highlights they're talking about here is the proposed merger with ASP Isotopes that was announced, and they say it's going to create a unique critical minerals business with a stronger balance sheet. So there's an American company that came through and said they want to buy Renergen. They call it a merger here, but I call it a takeover, because if all goes well, Renergen is going to be delisted of the JSE. So I call it a takeover. And besides, Renergen's share price suddenly had some life in them after this announcement. I talked about it on my TikTok. If you want some context, you can go watch it there, right? We're still going to talk about it just later on in a bit. So the second highlight is the successful maintenance program that was completed. The third one, Springbok solar negotiations are underway. The fourth one, enhancement to geological data. The fifth one, commencement of additional drilling. But you see these last four highlights that they're talking about here. These are the things Renergen used to say, but they just couldn't deliver. They talk a lot, but they don't deliver. So yeah, Renergen is a small mining company. They are mining liquid natural gas and helium, right? And now they're talking about Springbok solar and negotiations being underway. So this company, the ASP Isotopes, well, Renergen has written here, it's coming from the horse's mouth, it's not me. They say ASP Isotopes has provided Renergen with a facility of $30 million so that they can complete and ramp up phase 1 to full production, including finalizing the remaining work for the pre-development of phase 2, right? So ASP Isotopes, they are in the business of isotopes. Isotopes are atoms, right? I read about them when I was making that TikTok video when they announced they want to, they also announced they want to list on JSE, ASP Isotopes. And then they later announced that they want to buy Renergen. So that's when I read about them. I was like, what do they do? What are isotopes? Then I found out that they were atoms. But that's big physics for me to remember and explain it now. So you can go and read about it for yourself. But I understand it deeply. I can't talk about it. It's going to take 5 hours. I understand it. I know what they do. And they need whatever Renergen is mining to create an integrated business, meaning they mine it for themselves, produce it, and sell it. Right? So maybe that's why they see potential in buying Renergen, and they gave it $30 million so that they can complete phase 1 and pre-develop phase 2. So Renergen is currently trading at 12 rands and 30 cents as of now. And when they made the announcement that ASP is going to buy Renergen or merger with Renergen, Renergen was trading around 6 rands, and it spiked up from that announcement alone. It made a gain of over 100% because it was around 6 rands something, and it's currently trading at 12 rands and 30 cents, right? It has an all-time high of 43 rands per share that it made in April 2022. So it's currently trading 72% down from that all-time high. Personally, I don't know if Renergen has what it takes to go create another all-time high above of 43 rands. But yeah, it started getting some life after ASP Isotopes started talking about this merger. And now they gave them this 30 million for them to do what they always wanted to do. So yeah, we'll just see. What do you think about Renergen? Do you think it could make another all-time high above 43 rands now that they have the money to make whatever they want to make? Or before they could even do that, they're just going to buy them out and delist it? What are your thoughts around Renergen? And the fifth and last company we're going to talk about is WeBuyCars Limited. So they should have said we buy and sell cars, because they don't just buy them, they buy them and sell them. But I'm sure you know about WeBuyCars, right? It was listed on the JSE just last year, so it's very new on the stock markets. It's listed with the ticker symbol WBC, WeBuyCars, pretty simple. And they announced that one of their guys has bought some more shares. He's an independent non-executive director by the name of W.T. Ruos, RWOS Ruos. He bought shares on 3 different days, on the 11th of June, on the 12th of June, on the 13th of June. So 3 days in a row, this guy was just buying, right? So the total value that he spent on all the 3 days, on the 11th, he bought shares for 1,219,983. On the 12th of June, he bought shares for 1,352,406. On the 3rd day, this guy broke the bank. He was like, ah! He released that Kamehameha, the Goku Kamehameha. So I guess the 2 previous days he was like, and then on the 3rd day, he broke the bank. He spent 17,275,539. So if you can quickly add that, it's going to amount to 17 plus 1 plus 1, that makes it 19. 200,000 plus 3, that's 5, plus 2, that's 7, and then some. So he spent close to 19,700,000, somewhere there. You can say a total of 20,000, and then he got himself some 20 million, and then he got himself some change. That's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of money. On the 11th of June, he bought 24,400 shares. On the 12th, he bought 26,271 shares. And then on the 13th, he bought 334,329 shares. And he didn't buy them in his names. Maybe for tax purposes or whatever, only he knows. He's not obligated to explain to us why or how. He just didn't buy them in his own names. He bought them in the name of Rosa C. Aquitas. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this the right way. I'll put it on the video. You will tell me what that is. So it's an indirect beneficial because he didn't buy it in his own names. So one thing about WeBuyCars, it's currently trading at 57 rands and 20 cents, which means this guy is pretty much in profits now, because on all these days the highest price he paid was 52 rands. If it's now trading at 57 rands, it means it's just a little bit into profits. Yeah? It was listed in 2024, like I said, and it's actually trading at its all-time high. It's creating a new all-time high as we speak. It might be coming down because of the fluctuations of intraday trading and stuff, but it just made this all-time high, I think today or yesterday, and could possibly pass it or come back below a little bit, but it's trading around the all-time high area. And since it was listed on the JSE,
WeBuyCars
now went up 200%. So when it listed, if you bought shares the first time you could, when it listed on the JSE, your money would have doubled itself twice now if you hadn't sold anything. So what do you think about WeBuyCars, guys? Because some people are crying, they're saying the cars they get there, they are overvalued, like the money they are paying for the cars, and when you actually drive the car, it's not adding up. Some people like it because they can get cars for cheap. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a good stock to buy, considering what people say and experience with WeBuyCars or not? You tell me in the comment section. And that makes up today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor, share this video with one of the people that you like to talk to every day. It could be a friend, it could be your cousin, it could be your uncle. Just one of those people you talk to on a regular basis. Please share this video with them and subscribe if you haven't subscribed so far. Like and share, all that business, man. It's going to help us a long way. But yeah, that makes up the end of our episode. This is JSE Sens'd, where we make sense, so you, my friend, can make sense.
I wanna la la la.
Shot. Kula looking like a CEO. Looking clean like a video. Your spot is mediocre. I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. Can't see you feeling cold. Niggas on the wrong